What's going on, guys? It's Dewey here. Welcome to episode 4 of Supersymmetry. I did a few things off camera, like you can see behind me, and you can see behind me again. I decided to move the primitive smelter and the PBFs down to the lab, and I also updated some textures with a few texture packs. Like, as you guys can see, I have modern wheat textures, and I think it also updated like iron and brass textures, which is very nice. Also wanted to shout out Quest Wizard in the Supersymmetry Discord for starting to update the old Supersymmetry textures to fit that of GT Refreshed. These look very nice, and I'm super excited to see what more textures he's gonna update. Bleach. Isn't that mustard gas? Also, over here I made a little like steam or like back rooms area for moving these into, because I have plans to redesign this room in this episode. I do have a little montage of me making this room, so I think I'll just play that now. As you guys can also see, I moved my PBFs down here, as well as make 2 more, I'm pretty sure, as well as my primitive smelter. That's basically it, and now I want to just hop straight into my goals for this episode. So firstly, I want to redesign the workshop area. That is this area over here, so that way it's more cohesive and not just a blob of steam and LV machine. Ow! As well as move these back into here, because I don't really need them in here, as well as like get rid of this ugly bit and this like caution line. I don't know why I designed it like this, but it's kind of ugly. And then I also want to make a steam oven and grinder. Steam ovens and grinders basically work as parallelized steam furnaces and parallelized steam macerators respectively. They will be very helpful because these are very much like the buffer system, or not buffer system. These are like the hiccups of what I want to do. As well as make a steam solar array with a bunch of high pressure steam solar boilers. These need silver, which is kind of a pain in the ass because I don't have a way to get silver easily. Okay, so as it turns out, there actually is a simpler method to getting silver. If I crush some acanthite, as well as combined it with some calcite and air, I can get silver oxide and sulfur dioxide. This sulfur oxide can then just be roasted back into more sulfur and oxygen, which seems pretty easy, but I need air. So I need to make an air collector, which is very annoying. But then I want to make a steam tank to then store all that steam that's being produced from that steam solar array, as well as make a wooden tank to store a buffer of water from this pump, so that way we not only have like a buffer system, but that steam solar array will probably chew through water, so it would probably be a good idea to have just a backfill. I also want, and in order to make this steam tank, I want to make a lathe. Lathe gives a 1:2 ratio of ingots to rods, which is much better than the 1:1 ratio of just filing ingots down, which is very costly. And I also want to make a forming press and make a set of steam armor, because I just think it looks cool. So I think I should just stop yapping and get to redesigning this workshop area, and that will probably be a little montage. Okay, so that took me way longer than I expected. I thought this would take like 20 minutes, and it ended up taking me like an hour because I had to move this back as well as make this water tank, which is filling up very nicely. In that montage, I also made a lathe to finally get more efficient rods because I couldn't really deal with the 1-to-1 ratio anymore. It was very annoying. Also to mention is that I updated the mod pack, and now vacuum tubes require Kovar rings, which need both nickel and cobalt matte, which comes from cobaltite, which just, thank God I had some spare lying around. I don't know from where, but this was very annoying to deal with. So please change that. I don't like that. They also changed this, so now I need Cooper nickel, more nickel, and even some quicklime, which is absolutely fantastic. But this will be on hiatus right now. But we got the lathe done, so can't really complain about much. I think now is a good time to start the solar array as I planned, which means I need silver. I processed a bit of acanthite into dust and processed some calcite. Now I just actually need air, which means I need to get an air collector, which needs iron bars, circuits, holes, filters, and pumps. I won't make this into a montage because just microcrafting montages, while they do look nice, I just don't feel like editing that after probably the absolute pain I put myself through making the first montage. So I'll just do a nice transition, and okay, so I've got it just now, and now we just actually need to get that. Nope, there we go. Make this thing shut up. There we go. We have 10 buckets of air. Put this into the roaster. That'll go very quickly, but I should just, there we go, 2 double ingot of silver already, so pretty quick.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I processed a bit of acanthite into normal silver. I'm planning on making 6 more solar boilers, which is 6 plus 2 I already have up there. That's 8, which will produce 144 steam per tick, which will be more than enough. Also, while I was waiting, I replaced some pipes with potent pipes because small copper fluid pipes had dog shit capacity, and I also had to make a high pressure steam solid fuel boiler to boost steam production because those solar steam boilers were not producing enough. These potent pipes have a much larger capacity, so it helps a lot for getting more steam to my steam turbine to just get quicker power. Also, while this is cooking and while I was processing more acanthite, I did spend the time to make the parts for a steam furnace or steam oven. So all I have to do is just replace this steam furnace, or use this steam furnace in this recipe, and then just set it up. While I wait for these to finish bending, I think I'll actually set up the furnace right now. So boom, now I actually just have to set it up. There we go. Boom, easy. Get some light over here and boop, 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 boop. I actually need a few more. Boop, boop. Let me quickly grab some more water fluid pipes. Okay, so these should all be directed upwards. Boop. Right, there we go. All of these have some amount of water. Now all I have to do is actually shut all of these up, because these are very loud. Now I'm actually just going to dismantle this setup. What's up guys, it's Editing Dewey here. I'm gonna be voicing over the rest of this episode because I can't stand editing this episode with such bad mic quality in the video. So after building the steel tank and connecting it to the solar grid, I connected the tank to the main workshop via an underground pipe, and just had to get an extra pipe, and as well as connect the bronze grinder and oven to the Steam network. After checking that off my checklist, I spent some time redesigning my workshop in a little montage. Then I go into a montage to get a forming press. So, as you guys can see, I made the steam armor in the montage. I really like how it came out. The only issue is that it now needs pressurized air to actually use it as armor, but I'll do that later. But anyways, steam armor and rebuilding the workshop. Cha-ching and cha-ching. I think that should be everything for today. Oh, wait, seem to have forgotten this one. Wait, what's that music in the background?